Hello students, a very warm welcome to you once again. In our today's topic, we are going to discuss the most relevant or most important topic that we are having in sociology, and that is caste. Why does it come in so much discussion in today's time? What is the background? In my today's video, I will be discussing in four different areas. First of all, I will be talking to you about what is the background of caste census. When was it conducted for the first time? And how has it progressed in different years? And why should we discuss it once again? In the second topic, I will also be talking about how important is this caste census topic for your GS areas, in which all different directions questions can be asked, and how is it important even for your paper 2 or paper 1 sociology. Next, I'm also going to talk about that a country of 1.4 billion people are going to be studied on the basis of not just religion, but on the basis of sub-religious groups, on the basis of caste, subcaste, jati systems. So what are the problems or the obstruction the government is going to face? These are the challenges. And then lastly, I will also be discussing about who are some of the important sociologists that needs to be mentioned over here. Who is the father of sociology? Gure. What is the view of M.N. Srinivas? Who is the Indian Max Weber? What do they have to say? We will discuss. So let's just get started directly to the background of caste census. Okay, so the background of caste system, if you take a look at it, that during the British era itself, the caste were actually measured and they were written down. So we haven't really had the first caste census not after the independence, but rather it was collected somewhere in the year 1931 during the period of British Raj. So kindly remember this phenomena that not after 1947 this topic has come into the picture, not in 1980s, 1990s, because mostly caste-based politics have started only in the last 30 years, but for the first time this was conducted in 1931 itself. Now what happened is after independence, when the caste was being measured, we did not try to include all the different segments and only two segments that were being highlighted. We only wanted to measure the Dalits, the scheduled caste. On the other, the second vulnerable section that we were having was scheduled tribes. So a large umbrella was not created for the caste system, but rather the scheduled caste, the depressed communities, the most vulnerable ones, and the second were the scheduled tribes. Now what happens is after 2011, the caste was actually measured, but what really happened, it was never officially released. It stayed with the government documents and they did not find it very important. They did not want to make it more messy. So it was measured in 2011, but it was never officially released. So that is also one that the political parties are telling we have to release officially so that the people get to know what is their true representation, because there has been debates. Many castes are overrepresented, many castes are underrepresented. We need some new figures. Now for the first time the government is trying to create a digital census as well. So this year the caste is going to begin and it will be conducted for the next 2 years. And what is the special thing about it? For the first time, we are going to measure the other backward caste or the other backward communities which are present. So a wide area will be opened because there are going to be a number of jatis, the number of different subcaste, and there are officially registered more than 5,000 different jatis which are going to be mentioned over here. So this is largely considered to be as a form of a historical development. Now, why this topic is very important? It can be seen as an important topic in two areas. One, it's important when it comes to the areas of general studies, and the next, it has got a special importance when it comes to sociology paper 1, but mostly it's a topic that comes in Indian sociology paper 2. Now, in your general studies area, that this particular phenomena is going to be more accurate when we are trying to measure the different inequalities. So to practice, the topic name is social justice itself. So when we are looking in the aspect of polity, when it comes in the form of governance, so how well the schemes can be implemented, how the policies are supposed to be framed, how do we measure the intra-caste inequalities, should the agenda of reservation, should it be further promoted? So when it comes to governance topics, this becomes an important area. Not just that, for better implementation of a democratic system, we need these topic as well. So in the case of better democratic political participation, so it becomes an important topic when it comes to polity, or it is also about democratic representation as well. Moreover, if we further go ahead, when it comes to GS paper 1, this is also an important topic when we are trying to study the aspect of mobility, how the society is stratified or it is classified into different segments. It's important for our Indian society as well. And last but not the least, one another area in which we can talk about is the aspect of economic system as well. How are we going to distribute the resources? Because there has to be allocation of resources, justification of those resources. So for better economic mobilization of resources, even for your paper 3. So this largely is included in your paper 2 topic. This is included in paper 2. This is paper 1 and this is for your paper 3. But where I am more inclined to discuss is this topic is highly relevant when it comes to your subject of Indian sociology. There is a specific topic when it comes to the part B, social structure. Excuse me. When we're talking about the social structure in India, there is a specific topic called as caste. So it is directly interrelated to your section B when it comes to caste. And when there are different thinkers that needs to be discussed, in fact, all the three important thinkers that you're having in section A, Ghure, Srinivas, Desai, in some or the other way, directly or indirectly, they have mentioned about the Indian thinkers. And not to forget, in your part C as well, when it comes to economic systems, when it comes to law making changes which are there, how the government has done the developmental planning as well. The first part, that is the visions of Indian development, we have discussed the aspect of caste system. And if you're talking about the social movements, in that also the topic of Dalit and OBC movements are going to be discussed. So largely I feel that this is important for your section B. Direct topic is their caste. Then I also think that every thinker has discussed about caste, so that is also important, relevant. And when we talk about the social movements, in that also this is important. So I am able to connect this topic in the aspect I am able to connect with this topic in the aspect of your general studies area, as well as when it comes to paper 2 as well sociology. I don't want to extend and go in the paper 1 areas. It's largely a paper 2 topic. Now let's talk about what are the challenges that we are going to have when we are doing this caste census. Why we are discussing? Because this is going to be conducted for the next 2 years, 2025. For the first time, we are going to create a digital census in which the aspect of caste is going to be heavily discussed. What problems we are having is we are further going and creating vote banks in the Indian political system. There is a very popular saying that in India, people don't cast their vote, but rather they vote for their caste. So what we are going to see is vote bank politics is further going to get proliferated. It is further going to get promoted. This is something that we do not want in the age of modernity. Another is a large area of this data can be misused. It can further create a more diverse, it can further create more rifts or conflicts within the society. This is also a problem because if the government has got a data, That data can be manipulated because data is considered to be as the oil. It is the most essential resource in the 21st century. So large amount of conflict can be created. This misuse can also further create more issues as well. Moreover, in the age where there is a large area of administrative burden, this is further going to add to that burden. It's an administrative burden. Why? Because we are trying to include the caste, we are trying to include the subcaste, we are trying to include the jatis. There are different thousands of different jatis that needs to be mentioned over here. This is something, an area of concern as well. Apart from being an administrative challenge, we also get to see that phenomena of caste is something which is like a private entity. It is not something to be discussed so openly outly, because there are going to be so many different people who might not be who are not willing to disclose their caste. So it's something which is privacy. So moreover, this is going to be a kind of a public declaration of their own caste. People might not want to identify their caste itself. So here we get to see this is further going to create more amount of communalism. This is further going to create a large level of enmity. It is we are trying to discuss something which belongs to the closed society, especially when the society is trying to go toward more progressive ideas. So closed open societies are going to get a lot of intermixed. It is like different new areas of conflicts are going to be created. So what are the challenges? Vote bank politics, as MN Srinivas has discussed. Government will have a lot of data to misuse it, and people might also use this can further create more conflict. An administrative burden on already the government, which has got so many other areas to discuss. People's private element are being publicly declared over here, and this can also further fuel communalism rifts within the community. So in the age when we need to bring more integrity and nationalism, a more areas of bifurcation or balkanization of Indian society can be promoted. Now I would like to tell there are important sociologists who will be discussed over here. In my part B, from a more core sociological view, I would like to discuss what each and every sociologist is trying to highlight. If you remember Ambedkar, he was that person who wanted to remove the caste system from the society, and he had written the book as well, that how we can remove the caste system, and his topic was called to be as the phenomena of annihilation of caste. The phenomena was called as annihilation of caste. On the other, there is an important sociologist. This person is B.R. Ambedkar. Obviously, you know this. The second person that I am discussing over here is M.N. Srinivas. M.N. Srinivas is telling that caste system it has mixed with the phenomena of class system. He has mentioned this as like a twin hierarchy. He was the first sociologist to conduct ethnographic studies in India. He has been given a Padma Vibhushan award as well. What N.N. Srinivas is trying to convey the message of how caste system is going to be a more of a fluidic phenomenon. And then this person who is largely regarded to be as the Indian Max Weber, his name is Andre Bete. What he says about the caste system, he has conducted a specific study in the village of Tamil Nadu, Tanjore, the Shri Puram village. He is trying to say that caste system must be studied from a multi-dimensional view. What is this multi-dimensional view? So some important sociologists that you cannot ignore is obviously G.S. Gure, Andre Bete, M.N. Srinivas. The important another sociologist that should not be ignored is the French guy who has studied Indian society, Louis Dumont. I am going to discuss all these views, functionalist views, conflict views, symbolic interactionist view more in our detail in the part B of caste census. So what we have discussed in our today's topic, we have tried to understand the background of caste census. How does it come into picture? Then we have tried to understand where this topic is important in your general studies and as well as in sociology. We have also tried to understand the challenges that are there to conduct this study. And another, who are the other list of different sociologists that cannot be ignored. I will see you in the part B. If there are any questions or if there is any topic that you want me to discuss more in detail, let me know in the comment section. I hope you have a good time.